Nobody ever wants to see a car crash, but when it happens, I feel it's my duty to keep the camera rolling and document everything that happens. Fortunately, this incident was fine and Brett was able to get out of the car under his own power. I'm sure he was a little shooken up, probably a little sore, but everything was okay. And that's what the safety equipment's all about, keeping people safe in an incident like this. The safety crew was also there super quick, able to talk to Brett, get a feel for how he was doing, get the car safe and secure, roll it over, and then put the track back together so we could carry on racing. After catching Brett's crash on film, I was really interested to talk to him more about it and find out a bit more on how he got into hill climb. Brett?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you. It's a better meeting than the last time I saw you.
Yeah. It was a little rough day there last week.
Yeah.
It's a 1993 Dodge Colt. Originally it had 92 horsepower and just an economy car, but I've had it for about 20 years and got into, actually my girlfriend at the time had a different Colt that we had, and that sort of got into the car, and I was like sort of confused because it felt like a Honda to me, like an import, and then did some research and found out that they're actually 100% made in Japan.
Oh, okay.
And imported over, and Chrysler, Dodge, Plymouth rebadged them and sold them as Dodge Colts or Eagle Summits. So
okay.
Then I found out my friend had an Eagle Talon Turbo, the old ones with the flip-up lights, and we found out that you could swap the engines back and forth. And so about 20 years ago, I ended up swapping the 4G63 out of a crashed Eagle Talon I got, and that was the beginning of the project. They might call it a 6-bolt motor, but it's sort of like known as the strong version of the 4G63s, where later generations that were 7 bolts had crank walk issues and thrust bearing issues in the cranks. So obviously got a lot of mods on the engine. The engine itself is still stock pistons, stock rods, stock head gaskets, stock head bolts. It's a higher mileage motor actually, and it's just keeps running, so I've just been running it.
Yeah.
But it runs a Force Performance HTA 68 turbo, 30 pounds of boost. Runs E85 from Co-op, so it's just E60. Flex fuel system, FIC 1650 E85 injectors, and runs a speed density tune. So. About 5 years ago, a local guy, fabricator Matt Martin, his name, helped me out, and we had an ICBC write-off Lancer Evolution 1 that we cut the all-wheel drive floor pan out and then swapped it into the two-door Dodge Colt chassis, and that allowed us to bolt in all the all-wheel drive components from the Lancer. It's running about 400 horsepower, we think. I've never had it on the dyno, but just guessing from quarter mile time and trap speeds, I think that's where it's around, probably about 350 wheel horsepower, maybe in that range. So.
Cool. And that's pretty reliable and stuff.
Yeah, I do circuit racing out at Mission Road Race Course.
Oh, okay.
So it does usually three 20-minute sessions a day, and that's full out. So
nice.
I built it to stay cool, and with a turbo car, the biggest challenge is trying to keep the engine cool and the oil cool. So.
Okay, that was my next question was, how'd you get into hill climb and stuff like that? Figuring that you probably came from track and stuff like that.
Actually, got into hill climb, sort of found out about the Knox Mountain hill climb through Garrett Mealing. He's a member of our local DSM club here in BC, and got to know him over the years through Facebook and just watching his posts, and I was like, oh wow, I didn't even know about the hill climb up there. So when I got into road racing, a lot of the guys actually that I raced with at Mission go up to Knox Mountain. So I figured this was the year to try it out and see what I can do. So
nice. Is that kind of the only hill? That's probably the only hill climb around here. Or is hill climb a big thing?
Yeah, like I don't know of any. You know, you hear of Pikes Peak and everything, but as far as that, I don't know of any other local hill climbs that are in the BC area.
Yeah,
or Washington or anything.
Seems to be like a very small niche sort of race that happens, or I guess around the country.
Yeah,
it's cool that Knox. I was talking to Jennifer in the STI, and she was saying there was a few in the States that didn't happen just because of insurance, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So it sounded like the hill climbs were kind of getting taken out a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of liability. You know, stuff can happen, especially when you got high performance cars and crowds of people around, right? So
yeah,
I could see where they're coming for there, as liability is a big thing in insurance.
Yeah. Was that your is this your first Knox that you've raced?
Yeah, this is my first year at Knox. Yeah.
I think everything held up, like transmission and stuff, or did it?
It bent the rear subframe as well. So I do have spare subframes, luckily.
Yeah.
The unibody of the car, I think the front right is, I measured it, it's down about 3 inches total. So the whole floor pan moved back a few inches and folded up the passenger side floor pan.
Yeah.
I talked to Frame. They said they can straighten it out. It might be some tearing. We might have to weld some panels in after, but being a race car, it just has to be close as we can get it. And
yeah.
I can adjust the control arms a little bit here and there because I got the adjustable arms now.
Oh, so. Nice. Who makes those?
Those are from Race Fab, actually, from New Zealand.
Okay. Very cool. And then as far as the transmission, did it
didn't look like it hit at all. Yeah, luckily the engine starts right up and runs still. I can put it in gear and drive the car.
Nice. When I saw that axle and the wheel on the ground, I was like, oh man, that tranny's probably exploded.
Yeah, no, it looks like it just like ripped the tripod out of the axle cup, and the axle actually stayed in the transmission. So I had a good look. I didn't see any cracks in any of the cases or anything. My little cooler, this is for my transmission cooler, got hit a little bit, but it actually doesn't even leak. So I was quite surprised that the tranny didn't receive any damage from the impact, ripping
awesome.
the wheel off. So
yeah.
Thinking of front halving it, once I get the tub of the car straightened out and the firewall straightened out, is cut the front frame rails and then tube everything. All the suspension pickups and the motor mounts all done in tube.
Okay.
A little bit lighter weight, stronger, easier to fix if this happens again down the road too.
Yeah.
So,
does that change like a class that you run at all? Or?
The car's already a GT class car because of the engine swap and the drivetrain swap. I get put in with GT class, so I can't do any of the IP classes, which would be improved production. Because the drivetrain swap technically puts me. So in GT class, it's unlimited. You can tube the whole car if you want. So it doesn't affect my classing and what I race in.
Oh, okay, so you're already in there.
Yeah, I can do it's open for any mods that I want to do. Full aero. That's another. I gotta get a big spoiler and a splitter on the front. Here, get some downforce going. So I do have 275 slicks that are going on the car too. But I got to do some body mods to make everything fit.
Oh, so you're saying do a wide body and stuff?
Yeah, I'm going to do some fender flares. Hope maybe eventually do like metal work and do a proper wide body.
Oh, sweet.
But right now it runs 215 wide tires, so stepping it up quite a bit to 275 wides.
Yeah.
As per recommendations from a few people in the road racing community. So.
Okay. Still a little more grip.
Yeah, it makes a lot of power, but the turning and the stopping are obviously a weak point of this car.
Is it all like the Lancer drivetrain then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the full from the tranny to the rear diff, axles, everything, subframes are all from the Lancer Evo 1. So,
okay.
And I have a 92 Lancer Evo GSR as well. That's more like a collector car, so. I try to keep everything the same, so the parts that I have, it'll work on either car, and I can I have a few Eagle Talons and Plymouth Laser and Mitsubishi Eclipse too, and they all sort of share the same parts. So
okay, that's good.
I sort of hoard Mitsubishi parts for the last 20 years, so I can
keep racing.
Yeah, parts are so hard to find, and especially transmission parts and stuff. So if I can find used stuff, I'll usually buy it up every chance I get.
Nice. Break it down for us. What exactly happened? How did it all play out for you?
Yeah, obviously it was learning the hill still. Starting to get some confidence and learn all the corners and be able to push a little bit harder. Every race, I think we raced 3 times up the hill the day before, and then 2 the day of the crash. And every time I was getting faster and faster. I think I was at a 2:05.6, and I was about a half a second away from third place. So trying to get a podium.
Pushing
and
for it.
Yeah, pushed it a little too hard. Looking at the video, about one brake marker later than what I had done on the other runs. So just came in too hot to 9B and locked up the tires. And once the tires locked up, I was sort of along for the ride at that point. So
yeah, from my perspective, it was kind of like, oh, okay, it's coming in hot, and then you heard the brakes squeal and saw it lock up. But it was hard to tell if it was just if you were on the brake the whole time or if you were just understeering at that point. And then
it was I locked up the brakes, and I was looking at the in-car. Actually, the engine stalled at that point.
Oh, really?
And I tried to get into second and sort of clutch kick it, but in the video at that point it was already coming into the wall. So it was like it was just not enough time to really do much, and there's not a lot of forgiveness in that corner, unfortunately. A lot of it, I think, coming into that corner entry, it's a little off camber, so it sort of sucks you to the outside.
it kind of pulls you into the wall.
Yeah, and once the tires locked up, like I said, there wasn't much I could do. The car started sliding sideways a little bit, and with the angle it hit the wall, it just kicked it straight up in the air and over on its roof. So in the video, it didn't look that fast, maybe about 40, 50 kilometers an hour.
Right,
But
by the time you were actually
when the car flipped over, I was just super surprised. I didn't expect going that speed that the car would roll over like that.
So you were kind of just preparing for a hit and then a bit of a turn and like, oh shit.
Yeah, I expected good impact and damage to my suspension, but I did not expect the car to roll over on its roof. So that was
I don't think any of us were really.
No, that was the first time I've ever done that in my life, and it was quite the experience. Definitely got the adrenaline rush.
Yeah. How was it as you were, I guess, that moment where you're, okay, I'm hitting the wall, I'm flipping over, what's going through your head at that point?
Pretty much just like trying to get out of the car. In the video, in the car, I remembered to turn off my battery shut-off switch, and at that point, I just wanted to get out of the car. I worried about fuel spill or fire and being stuck in there. So it took me a little bit. I forgot to take my steering wheel off, so I sort of got my legs jammed up and was trying to get out the driver's side of the car, but because of how jammed up I was, I had to end up crawling out the passenger side, which was just getting out of the car. It was sort of surreal, I'd say. Obviously a lot of adrenaline, but I just remember just being disappointed and upset, and you sort of see that in the video after, and then seeing the wheel ripped off the car and the spring rolling around. It was a little much, but you know, when I signed up and I came up there, I knew the risks I was taking. Looking at, I have a draggy in the car, so I was tracking. I could see on the in-car video the run that I crashed on the brake marker 4 going into 9B. I was a second and a half up on that run. So
you were pushing.
That would have been my fastest run if I kept it out of the wall. I was, like I said, I was trying to push for. There was a couple competitors out there. Frank Ewald in his white Nissan, and there was from Red Beaver Racing. There was a Honda Accord that was about a second and a half up of where I was. So those guys we were competing really close. It was a close race, and like I said, it sucks, but ultimately, like you said, it's part of racing. You take these risks, and it's bound to happen eventually. So hopefully, I got it out of me now, and this will be the last one.
Crashing.
Yeah, I've done all my crashing. So.
Well, appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Brett. Talk soon.
Yeah.